Fallout 5. Yes, it is multiple years away, but trust me, there's some wild stuff that is flying around the internet. We're hearing whispers from credible insiders that Fallout 5 has been officially greenlit behind the scenes. What does that mean? There's even talk that it could arrive sooner than we've talked about in the past videos because of that big shakeup over at Bethesda. I know, sounds crazy. A new Fallout possibly fast-tracked. Come on, what reality are we in? Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today, I'm going to break down everything from confirmed news timelines to the leaks, the rumors, the setting, the story, the gameplay features we might want, we might not want, and that huge twist that I just teased. Stick around for the second half of the video, and we're going to dig into that actual development. It could actually change everything for Fallout 5. So sit back, get comfortable. Remember, I read every single comment on every single video. You're not going to get one over me. If you comment and say, I bet you don't read this, look for that reply. Now, we always like to start off with the official news. And what do we have officially about Fallout 5? Honestly, not a whole lot, but we do have a few nuggets. Bethesda's Todd Howard has confirmed that Fallout 5 will happen. He even revealed back in 2021 that the team has a one-pager design document outlining the game at a high level. That would be really cool to get your hands on. A one-page design document that outlines the game. In other words, they've sketched out some basic ideas for the story, the setting, and the features. The catch, though, Bethesda's plate has been very full. Howard made it clear the studio's priority was finishing Starfield, which is now out, of course, and then developing the Elder Scrolls 6 before turning their full attention to Fallout 5. Now, if Bethesda stuck to that old plan, we wouldn't expect to see Fallout 5 until probably well into the 2030s at the earliest, but Todd himself admitted he wished they could make these big games faster. But given their typical 4 to 5 year development cycles, that's a long wait. To put that in perspective, the Elder Scrolls 6 only entered full production after Starfield's release, and it's still years away. So traditionally, Fallout 5 would only start after that. Now, officially, Bethesda hasn't announced anything like a release year or a trailer. It's been radio silence. They're keeping expectations low because, as of the last public update, Fallout 5 was a distant project planned to come after Elder Scrolls 6. But, and this is a huge but, the landscape is changing under Microsoft's ownership. We'll get the game-changing rumors in one moment, and before that, it's worth noting the context here. Fallout franchise? It's hot again. It is. Bethesda dropped a surprise Oblivion remaster in 2025, then a next-gen patch for Fallout 4, and there's an Amazon Fallout TV series that's been a huge hit. We're ready for Season 2. I think Season 3's already been greenlit as well. There is a ton of new interest in the games. We've been talking about Fallout 3 and 4 possibly getting remasters. I mean, player counts are spiking. So both fans and Xbox leadership are acutely aware of the demand for a new Fallout. Officially, though, Bethesda's line has been, it'll happen, but not for a long while. Now, let's talk about what might actually be changing here. Here's where things get really interesting. Recently, a very reliable insider, Jez Corden of Windows Central, spilled some really big stuff on his Xbox 2 podcast about Fallout 5. According to Jez, Fallout 5 has now been fully greenlit for development by Microsoft and Bethesda. This is a big deal, and you say, oh, it's greenlit. We knew it was going to happen anyway, but yeah, this means some things because it suggests the project isn't just an idea on paper anymore. It's actually moving forward in capacity. Even more intriguing is, Corden reported that Microsoft leadership made a strategic decision. They canceled a separate high-budget project, which was an unannounced MMO codenamed Project Blackbird. I'll let you guys give your best guess to what that game was, to free up resources for Fallout 5. In other words, they're reallocating people and money to make Fallout 5 happen. His sources say it was a trade-off. Microsoft figured focusing on a new Fallout would be a surefire win compared to gambling on a new MMO. And I would say they're right. And that goes back to what we talked about before. The old way to do things was wait until you get each one out. But if Microsoft is literally reallocating people and assets, this could mean it could come much quicker. Now, since Bethesda Game Studios' core dev teams are still busy with Starfield updates and Elder Scrolls 6, real question is who will actually develop Fallout 5? Now, Corden admitted he wasn't sure which studio is taking the lead, given BGS proper is tied up, right? The rumor is that either another internal Bethesda team or possibly an outside studio could handle a bunch of the work. It could even be a newly assembled team drawing talent from across Bethesda's subsidiaries. Example, some developers from ZeniMax Online, the folks behind the ESO and the Fallout 76. Maybe they pivot over to Fallout 5. Microsoft might essentially create this Fallout task force, this joint task force to get this game off the ground sooner rather than later. Now, if that happens, This would be the first time since 2010's New Vegas that a mainline Fallout title isn't built by Bethesda's central studio. New Vegas, by the way, was made by Obsidian and is considered a classic, so having another studio involved isn't necessarily a bad thing. The goal here is clearly to accelerate the project, and remember how I said Fallout 5 looked like a 2030s game? Well, Xbox leadership seems eager to beat that timeline and capitalize on the current Fallout hype, especially with the Amazon TV show drawing in tons of new fans. There's even speculation they want Fallout 5 ready for the time we get to the third season. I mean, that would be huge. It's a bit of a moonshot, given how huge RPGs are, but what if they got it ready? And I do want to note, even Jez Corden cautioned that these reports are early days. They should be taken with a grain of salt, of course. Everything on this channel is taken with a grain of salt. We know that. This was discussed casually on a podcast, not announced via official press release or anything. But Jez is a well-regarded insider. The gaming community considers him generally reliable on Xbox info, and multiple outlets, GameSpot, Dexerto, all of them picked up this Fallout 5 greenlit story. The bottom line here, something is stirring at Microsoft and Bethesda regarding Fallout. Fallout 5 is no longer just a distant dream. It's in the works. Might just get our hands on it sooner than we expected, even 6 months ago. Now, let's talk about Fallout 5. Essentially getting the go-ahead. The big question every fan wants to know is, where's it going to be set? What's the story going to be? So far, Bethesda hasn't revealed any official details about the setting or the plot. They're under wraps, but we do have some clues and a lot of fan speculation. We know from Todd Howard himself and other Bethesda folks that Fallout is likely going to stay in the United States for locations. The series' Americana vibe is kind of its trademark. The retro-futuristic post-apocalyptic USA is core to Fallout's identity. Todd actually said in one interview that their plan is to predominantly keep it in the US going forward. So I'm really sorry to those who were hoping for Fallout London or Fallout Tokyo. I mean, at least in the main games, we're going to be roaming America's ruins. Now that leaves a lot of possibilities though. Past games have taken us to post-nuclear Washington, D.C., Fallout 3, Las Vegas, and the Mojave, New Vegas, Boston, Fallout 4, West Virginia, Fallout 76, among others. So Fallout 5 will probably certainly explore a new region we haven't seen in the official series. And there's theories out there. I want to know your best guess. One popular rumor, it's New Orleans. Interestingly, Bethesda reportedly registered a trademark or domain name for Fallout New Orleans several years back, which set off a ton of speculation. On top of that, Fallout 76 had an update that introduced some NPCs who came from New Orleans, almost like an Easter egg. I mean, true diehards took it as a hint. New Orleans could really offer a fresh setting. Imagine the French Quarter in ruins, swampy bayous with mutant gators. I mean, that would be cool. And you have that Cajun-flavored wasteland culture. It would be fun. It really would. I mean, besides NOLA, fans on Reddit and forums, they have other ideas. New York City's a big popular one. I mean, of course, post-apocalyptic Times Square, Central Park, overrun with super mutants. We actually got a taste of that region in Fallout 76's Atlantic City update. I mean, it was New Jersey, but it's close. It has people wondering if a future game might head up the coast to the Big Apple. It could. Another contender is Chicago. And I think on our last video, a lot of you actually wanted Chicago in the comments. Chicago has some Fallout lore presence already. Fallout Tactics was set there, and the Brotherhood of Steel had a chapter in the Midwest. So there's an existing foundation to build on there. So imagine Chicago Loop, crumbling skyscrapers, or exploring vaults under the Great Lakes region. Some fans even suggested returning to the West Coast. You have California, you have Nevada. Go back to them, especially with the Fallout TV show sparking those interests. I personally want to go somewhere new. New Orleans, Chicago, Florida, Miami, Texas, any of those would be really cool. Now, as for the characters and the story, we don't know. Fallout games typically standalone story-wise, new protagonists, new main conflict, but they do share the same universe, and they often have nods to each other, so we can safely assume Vault Tech and its vaults will be involved somehow. You almost always start in or around a vault. There will likely be familiar factions making a return. The Brotherhood of Steel tends to show up wherever civilization is rebuilding, and of course, the Enclave, which is the remnants of the old US government, might come back in some form if the setting makes sense. Now, if say Fallout 5 is in Chicago or the Midwest, we might actually see the return of the Midwestern Brotherhood or other classic groups. If it's in New Orleans or the South, maybe we get entirely new factions. And here's one cool little tidbit. The showrunner of the Fallout TV series, Jonathan Nolan himself, mentioned that the Amazon show storyline is completely separate. And Todd Howard even made sure the show writers didn't accidentally use any big ideas that Bethesda might be saving for Fallout 5. That tells me Bethesda already has some specific story ideas they want to explore in Fallout 5. Those are ideas important enough, they told the TV show, hands off. Now, we don't know what they are, That's kind of cool. Now, real quick, let's touch on gameplay features. Everybody wants to know about gameplay features. How would it play? Which features do you want or do you not want? Of course, there's no official gameplay footage or details. I mean, we're in the realm of educated guesses and wishes, but that's okay. That's what we do on this channel. The good news is we can look at Bethesda's recent trends, Starfield, listen to community feedback from Fallout 4 and 76. And one thing I keep hearing from longtime fans is, please bring back deeper RPG mechanics. Fallout 4 was criticized for streamlining a few elements compared to earlier titles. Example, the classic karma system, where you were good or evil with your actions and it affected your reputation, wasn't in Fallout 4. Many players missed it. In older Fallout, your choices would actually make the people treat you differently. So Fallout 5 could definitely benefit by returning to that kind of reactivity. The more nuanced dialogue options on high wish list too, I would say. Fallout 4's dialogue wheel only gave you a few choices, often just paraphrase, yes, no, sarcastic question. I mean, it's pretty limiting. We could definitely expand on those. And then, man, we talked about this with Elder Scrolls 6. World building and exploration. Fallout is all about exploring the open world. You have to scavenge, you have to build up your resources. Fallout 4 introduced the settlement building feature. It let us craft bases and communities, and I think it was a hit. I personally spent a lot of hours with my settlements, but it was also clunky. So fans probably want more polished, refined building systems in Fallout 5. I mean, smoother controls for construction, more flexible placement for your structures. Just a generally less finicky interface would be really cool. I mean, imagine being able to build your own wasteland hideout without fiddling. And that would keep the creative players pretty happy if you ask me. And the creation engine too, the engine used for Starfield, they could leverage that. They could make this thing absolutely amazing. Now, combat. Fallout 4 and 76, they leaned heavy into shooter territory. I mean, Fallout 4 actually had pretty solid FPS mechanics. So I'm going to bet the Fallout 5 will continue to refine the gunplay. I mean, they got to keep the series unique. Of course, they have to keep that targeting system in some form, possibly updated for modern times, but they're definitely going to modernize. There's been a lot of talk about vehicles or even mounts, and since that's one thing Fallout has never really given us in-game, beyond fast travel or riding vertibirds, this could be big. If the map in Fallout 5 is huge, which I expect it to be, we need to be able to travel. Maybe finally hop in a Mad Max-style rigged car, or at least ride a tame mutant creature. Something. Don't put Ark in this, but you guys know what I mean. Now, the biggest point of debate I think we're going to have today. Single player versus multiplayer. After the experiment of Fallout 76's online world, a lot of people, myself included, really want Fallout 5 to return to the single-player focus that made Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 so engrossing and encompassing. The good news is, every indication so far suggests Fallout 5 will indeed be a story-driven solo RPG at heart. That's what Bethesda Game Studios does best. However, it doesn't rule out some online or co-op functionality entirely. There are fans who wouldn't mind a co-op mode. They like a chance to explore the wasteland with a friend. As long as it's optional and doesn't detract from the solo experience, I'm on board. In fact, even gaming journalists have mused that adding a co-op option, maybe like Dark Souls lets you summon a friend, or how Borderlands does a drop-in co-op, could be a great way to have multiplayer without making it an MMO or a live service game. Just be careful. That's all I'm going to say, is be careful. So there you go. I mean, in summary, I would say expect evolution, not revolution, when it comes to the gameplay and the mechanics. I think they'll modernize to a degree, but I don't think they're going to go away from what makes it special. That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, settings, we've already talked about this. New Orleans, Chicago, New York, Florida, Miami, Midwest. Could be any of those. Texas. Which one do you guys want? Could we get this sooner than later? Absolutely. With Microsoft shifting and reallocating, you bet we could see this before 2030. I'm not going to give you a guess this time. We'll see if we get anything new, but maybe on our next update video we do down the road, we'll try to lock in that date. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.